Hi everyone. Hope you're all having a good day so far, wherever you are, whatever time it is. So Hirsch Saha reporting from Auckland, New Zealand. Today, 26th of December, 2023, Boxing Day. And this talk video is actually about something that I've put a lot of thought into, which I've thought so much about over the years and years, especially since I was there, and there meaning university. But the concept is, or the subject is basically how in life, in every single thing you do, you really need to be practical. Otherwise, it just won't work. Even if what you do is not exactly the best job or as good as it possibly could be, or the answer you give is not the best. You just have to be practical in every single thing you do. I mean, I'm thinking it right now when I make these videos. I can't just talk for way too long, and I'm sure I've done that in a few other videos, and I apologize. But I have to obviously make the video the right length, where that people actually watch and not just get bored and give up on, even if the video has good content on it. If good content in it, sorry, if it's just too long, no one will watch it, or no one will watch all of it. So in every single thing you do in life, you really have to be practical. And coming back to what I said about, say, university education, I remember, especially going to university here in New Zealand, in Wellington, the city that I was born and raised in, and where I studied commerce and spent, I think, about 5 years in university, 5 years full time. I remember thinking, geez, they base our final marks on just basically, say, a terms test and a final examination. And sometimes it would be, say, 40% of your final mark is the terms test, and then the remaining 60% is from the final exam, the final examination. In some papers or some courses, you will have some assignments too, but never really a lot of assessments. And you think it should be based on more, and I still think it should be based on more than just two assessments, more than just a terms test and an exam. But really, when I think about it in life and every single thing you do, you have to be practical. And I'm sure a lot of students think that it should be based on more. I still think it should be based on more than just two assessments or more than just, say, even five assessments. Your final mark for that paper, for that course. But the thing is, ideally, it would be great in an ideal world, they would assess everything and to determine your final mark. Your attendance to all classes, your attendance to the tutorials, which are once a week. I remember the classes or the lectures were about 3 times a week. But your attendance to tutorials, your participation at those tutorials, you're doing the weekly assignments or the tutorial exercises, which you do prior to the tutorial and you discuss in the tutorial. You're doing or you're undertaking of those tutorial exercises, those weekly assignments, your participation at the tutorials, and doing all the readings, which I'm sure not everyone does. But the thing is, you really have to be practical in life. That would be nice, but imagine if they assessed everything. I mean, somehow, how could they assess that? Assess everyone going to every single class or every single lecture. Maybe you have a card that you swipe when you into the lecture theatre, and even there are limitations. What if you just gave the card to someone else to swipe it on your behalf, and they went to the lecture, but not you? Or say you swiped the card so it recorded yourself as attending the lecture, but then you just immediately left and you didn't actually be in the lecture. Things like that. And imagine if they had to assess your doing of all the readings, the weekly tutorial exercises, and how would they assess it? How would you actually prove that a student has done a reading? You're going to get someone to stand behind them and physically watch them as they do that reading. And even then, you can't make sure that they've really done the reading. They could have just been sitting there looking at the book. So I'm sure you get the idea of what I'm getting at. So, if you assist everything, yes, that would be nice. That would be, I guess, ideal. But it just wouldn't be practical. It wouldn't work. And imagine what would happen to student fees as well if they did that. I think they're too high already, and they seem to be going up pretty much every year or a few years. But imagine how much they would be if they assessed everything. So in life, you have to be practical in every single thing you do. You can't go over everything. You can't cover everything. You can't assess everything. You can't think of everything. But you have to be practical in what you do, so people will actually pay attention to it. So it'll actually work at the end of the day, even if it's not the absolute best solution or the best answer. And I guess that's a good point to now end this video, which is probably already going a bit too long. But yeah, that's how it works. And remember that in life, you have to be practical in every single thing you do. Otherwise, it just simply won't work. And that's how life is. Thank you.